everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is actually going to be my top 10 blushes. I recently started a series where I'm going to be showing you guys my top 10 products in a particular category. So I'm going to do blushes, I'm going to do lipsticks. I've already done my highlighter one and my lipsticks one, but if there's a particular category you guys are interested in seeing, please leave it down below in the comments section and I'll make sure I film that category for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. When I try to pick out my top favorites, I'm going to really try to pick out non-limited edition products. In this category it was a little bit difficult because some of my all-time favorite blushes were discontinued. So what I did was I ended up picking 11 products instead of 10 products because I wanted to compensate for the fact that I did pick out like 2 kind of discontinued or limited edition products. So hopefully they're not too difficult to pick up, but still I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go in no particular order. There is a mix of drugstore and high-end blushes in here, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So I'm going to start off with one of my favorite brands, and I actually like almost every single blush from this brand or this line, but I'm showing you guys my favorite color. So these are the Clinique Cheek Pops, and my favorite color from this line, it was actually kind of a toss-up between this one and the Nude one, but this one is Pansy Pop, and I chose to go with Pansy Pop because it's a little bit more on the unique side, and I feel like I have other nude blushes I'm going to show you guys. And despite the fact that this looks a little bit intimidating in the pan, it's actually a beautiful, beautiful blush. So when you put it on your skin, it doesn't look as purple. It actually kind of turns a little bit on the pink side. I really like wearing this blush in the springtime. I think it's a very, like I said, a unique blush. Most of the blushes I'm going to show you guys are not only my favorites because I love the color, but because I also love the formulation of them. I do have very oily skin, so blushes tend to kind of just disappear on me throughout the day, and this is one of my favorite formulas to go to because it really does last on me the entire day. They are a little bit more on the expensive side, but I've picked a lot of these up when either Ulta's having like their 20% off sale, or I found a lot of them at my local CCO. So I think they're definitely worth it because they do last on my cheeks the whole day. So the next blush I have to share with you guys is from Lorac. I love the Lorac blush formulation. Every time they release a palette, I tend to pick it up because, again, it lasts on my cheeks the whole day. It has a very buttery and smooth formula. But this color right here is one of my favorites. This is in the color Technicolor. And it's this really pretty kind of corally peachy shade. It's just a really nice corally blush, and like I said, it wears on the cheeks all day. So this one is one of my favorite ones from Lorac. Again, this is the buildable blush. These are all matte blushes in Technicolor. So the next blush I wanted to share with you guys, this is definitely one of my top favorite formulas, but this is a formula that I would really only wear in the summertime because it is a little bit more on the shimmery side. So these are the Ciate Glow 2 blushes, I believe is what it's called. It doesn't say anywhere on the packaging, and this one is in Date Night, and it's kind of a baked gelée formulation, and it has a swirl of kind of highlighter throughout the blush here. So this one is a little bit on the kind of mauve nude side, but it's not very shimmer, or it's not very glittery. This has a really, really nice sheen to it. I don't like blushes when they have like very chunky glitter in them. I really prefer something with a really nice sheen to it, and this is definitely one of those blushes that has a beautiful sheen to it. And sometimes I don't even wear a highlighter with this because it gives you that very like nice and glowy, you know, cheek look or skin look. Love these. There's several other colors that I like, but this is one of my favorite colors from that line. So the next one I have here is from e.l.f. This is one of their, I don't even know what to call these, but it's, you know, the rectangular blushes because they have so many blushes in their, you know, line. This one is in the shade Mellow Mauve. I had several of these blushes, and I know several of the colors have been discontinued. I didn't like any of their blushes in the line because they were a little bit on the powdery side. This one is not as powdery as the other blushes in this line. And it also doesn't have like chunky glitter. Some of them are matte, but some of them had this like chunky glitter. It's a nudie mauve blush, and it has this beautiful like iridescent sheen to it. So it's not shimmery, but it's still kind of glowy. It's like this naturally glowy blush. You can definitely see the sheen when I apply it on my cheeks. This one doesn't last on my skin as long as these other blushes, but I still really like that effect, that kind of glow that this has. I think this is only like $3, and I really don't mind reapplying this blush throughout the day because I just really love the effect that this has on my skin. So the next blush I want to share with you guys, this is from KIKO, and I know a lot of people used to talk about this particular blush back in the day, but I don't really hear that many people talk about it anymore, KIKO blushes anymore, because the only place I've been able to find these is Ulta, but online only. I know they used to be sold at Sephora, but they got taken out of Sephora. But these are the powder blushes. They also have like waterproof blushes. This one is in the shade Tonga, and it's a beautiful nudie blush, but when you put it on your skin, it kind of deepens up a little bit. So it's a little bit more of, I'd say, like a mauve pink blush. So as you can see there, it's definitely a little bit lighter in the pan, and then when you put it on your skin, it like deepens up or warms up a little bit. This is one of my favorite go-to nude blushes. When I don't know what to wear and I don't feel like figuring out if it's cool tone or warm tone or whatever, this looks good with any look. At least in my opinion, this has looked good with almost any look that I wear. It's a little bit more on the cool tone side, but I still like wearing it with any look. So my second favorite nude blush when I don't know what to wear is Too Faced Baby Love. This is their 16-hour blushes. It's the Love Flush blushes. Again, this is in the shade Baby Love, and this is a little bit more of like a warmer nude. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Again, this is my favorite warm blush. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see the difference, but here is Baby Love, and then there is KIKO's Tonga, and I really love both of these nude blushes. They last on the cheeks for a pretty long time. So yeah, those are my favorite nude go-to, or my go-to nude blushes. So the next blush is a little bit on the expensive side, and I have their palettes. I prefer getting the palette version of these blushes if I can, but I decided to pick up a single of it. This is the only single I have, and these are the Hourglass Ambient Lighting blushes, and this is in the shade Mood Exposure. Like I said, the rest of these blushes I have them in palette form only. I missed out on the one that had a Mood Exposure in a palette, so I decided to pick it up as a single, and this definitely is one of my all-time favorite blushes. It's this gorgeous kind of plummy mauve color. I feel like it definitely deepens up on your skin when you apply it, and it has this beautiful like sheen to it because it does have like the ambient lighting powders mixed into it. But again, it's not like a chunky glitter. It's this gorgeous sheen to it. They do have blushes that have a little bit more like shimmer to it, or like kind of glitter to it, but they do melt into the skin. Those are my least favorite. I want to say those are like the strobe lighting blushes. I don't like those as much as the ambient lighting blushes because again, those have a little bit more glitter to them, and I can only really wear those in the summertime, but I can wear this blush all year round. I do prefer wearing this in the fall time, even though it has a sheen to it, but I can still wear this blush all year round. So the next blush I want to share with you guys, this is from Too Faced, and I want to say they've discontinued this or are getting ready to discontinue it. Every time I've checked on the website, I haven't seen it. This is actually a bronzer. This is their blushing bronzer, and this is in pink Leopard, and I love this as kind of like a one and done product. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. It has kind of that bronzy effect to it. So this is something I will wear as just kind of like a blush and bronzer duo. I do concentrate it a little bit more towards this part of my cheek, and if I want to add just like a pop of like color, then I'll go in with a second second blush and kind of concentrate that there. But normally this is my one and done type of product. You know, I don't apply highlighter, I don't apply bronzer, and it just works. It's a little hard to describe because, you know, it doesn't look all that great in the pan. It also doesn't look that great, you know, when you swatch it out. But when you apply this with a fluffy brush on your cheeks and just kind of sweep it, it's a beautiful, beautiful blush bronzer kind of duo. Like I said, it's my favorite one and done type of product for my cheeks. So then the next blush that I want to share with you guys, this is one of the most underrated blushes. I don't hear that many people talking about them. And BH Cosmetics is a pretty inexpensive brand. I have tried other of their blushes and other products of theirs, but this is definitely one of my favorite products from BH Cosmetics. These are their Duo Cheek colors, excuse me, and this is their floral blushes. They have 3 of them, and I have all 3 of their blushes. This one is in the color Caribbean Coral. This is one of my favorite out of the 3 that I own because you have 2 very common colors that I use. I think one's like a little bit more nudie and one is a little bit more mauve. This is the peachy pink one. So on one part of the blush you have this pinky flower, and then on the kind of outside or like a moon shape you have these peachy flowers. So you can wear these separately or you could swirl them together. Now when I did have this blush, it had kind of like a sheen to it, so that's them swirled all together, so you're gonna get kind of like a peachy pinky blush. When I first, like I said, when I first purchased this product, it did have kind of like an overspray on it, whereas a little bit more on the shimmery side, but that wore away kind of quickly, and you're left with this kind of satin blush, and I love it. It doesn't wear as long as some of my other blushes. It is a little bit more on the powdery side. I find that Baked Gelée formulations tend to wear a little bit longer on my skin, but it still actually wears a relatively long time, especially in comparison to this e.l.f. blush. This blush does last on my cheeks for a pretty long time. So again, this is in the shade Caribbean Coral. Very inexpensive brand. I think this is definitely worth at least trying or, you know, checking out this brand because I really, really love this blush. So let's move on to the last blushes I have to share with you guys. For my 10th and 11th blush, these are both discontinued blushes, so I decided again to show you guys 2 blushes instead of 1. The first one is from Becca. This is the Beach Tint Shimmer Souffle Cream blushes. This is in the one Lychee I want to say, and Opal. These are cream blushes, and they have this, they're kind of swirled with the cheek tint and their shimmering skin perfectors, and it's like this putty kind of formulation, but I love these. I think these are the only cream blushes that I have left in my collection, and I love applying this with the e.l.f. stippling brush, the small stippling brush, and this just gives the most beautiful like flush of color to the skin, and it also again has that shimmering skin perfector kind of swirled in there, so it's going to give you this beautiful sheen or glow to the skin. I love these. They smell like candy. I really, really love these blushes. I purchased all mine off of Haute Look, and I have seen it on Haute Look several times. So even though they're discontinued, I still think you can find them in a lot of retailers that sell like discontinued products. So the last blush that I have to share with you guys, this brand was discontinued. I want to say they still have like a standalone website. I purchased mine off of Ulta, but I think they are like rebranding this or reformulating a lot of their things, and they're going to be launching again soon. I'm not sure, but that's at least what I've heard from the beauty community. And this is the Fiona Stiles brand. Again, I picked this up at Ulta when they were discontinuing a lot of these blushes, and these are her soft cheek veil blushes. This one in particular is in the shade Sweetwater, and this is one of my favorite ones from the ones that I own. And this is just a very gorgeous, like neutrally blush. It doesn't look like much in the pan, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous, like nudie pink blush. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it because my hand's getting a little bit red. If I just want like a flush of color, something that's not too intense, especially if I do an eye look that's pretty colorful or like a smoky eye or something like that, this is one of my favorite blushes to reach for. I know it's gonna last me a long time. It looks good every single time I apply it, and I just wish that it had been discontinued. Hopefully they re-release them. You know, maybe you can still find these on sale somewhere, but I highly recommend picking up these. I did try some of Fiona Stiles' other products, and I wasn't really impressed with a lot of the items in her line, but these blushes definitely were worth it. So again, this one is in the shade Sweetwater. So that's it. That's my top 10 blushes. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Please give this video a thumbs up if you are. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I currently post 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then on Sundays or every other Sundays I like to do a weekly makeup basket. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.